one day you woke up and realized you had spent decades becoming who the world rewards, someone who was proven, polished, and praised. But along the way, you started to wonder and second guess, is this still who I really want to be? Or am I just living a life to please? You see, so many of us are given scripts about how to perform and how to be successful. We often get those scripts from very well-meaning messengers. Early in life, they often come from parents, teachers, coaches, even friends. And as we grow up and mature, we have more messengers giving us more scripts. Sometimes they come from mentors, guides, bosses, life partners, in-laws, children, social media algorithms, the whole 9 yards. And it goes on and on and on. And what do these well-meaning and well-intended messengers have in common? They set expectations based on a world outside of us. They tell us what to do, how to do it, and who to become. And it's been my lived experience and my observation that oftentimes those outside voices very rarely encourage us to tap in and listen to our inside voice. And so that's what I want to do for you today. I want to invite you to tap into your inside voice. I want to ask you to consider even now if the version of you that the world experiences is still the version of you you want to be. Or are you too just living a life to please? You see, for 2 decades now, I have worked with brilliant people. I have watched them succeed publicly and silently drift into exhaustion. Whether this has been in boardrooms, whether this has been through the coaching work that I do, I have watched smart, talented, very capable, high achieving, high accomplishing individuals become drained, exhausted, overextended, and flat out stressed out. And I used to think, well, it's just the nature of the work. It's the volume of the work. It's the pressure itself. But as I've observed and I've had more conversations, I've come to shift that perspective. And I've started to notice and believe that it's more about the pressure of living up to performance expectations that are set by others. It's executing on all those scripts that people have told us that we should do. And so the thing is, when we live our lives that way, it's easy to drift into autopilot, drift away from self-reflection, drift away from pause and consideration. Now, you see, this wasn't something I just noticed and observed. It's something I lived as well. You see, several years ago, I got an offer for a role that I thought had everything I wanted. It was a Fortune 50 company. It was a move to the West Coast, and I love me some California weather. It was the #2 spot with a fast track to the #1 position in a few years, and it was a 7-figure salary. It was the kind of offer that said, you have arrived, you've made it, your work has paid off, and now you deserve what this organization is giving you. And when I was, counting up the cost and looking at the dollars and cents and the, impact of change in lifestyle between Dallas and the San Francisco area, I paused and I realized I needed to count up a different cost. The cost to the life my husband and I were trying to build at that time. The cost to the way we had hoped and desired and dreamt about raising our son. The cost to me personally about the kind of woman, wife, mother, friend, auntie that I wanted to become. And so here's the thing, I did not want to uproot our son and propel him into an environment that measured worth based on designer clothes, money, and status. I didn't want to put him in an ecosystem that would have required him to accelerate his trajectory into adulthood and shortcut his childhood. And if I'm honest, I also did not want to put one more strain on what at that time was a stretched marriage that required a lot of care, a lot of time, and a lot of intentionality. I didn't want to do those things, not for title, not for money, not this time. And so I sought the counsel of others and I got advice, and I thought, okay, let me let them know that this is not a good time to move my family, but I'm willing to commute back and forth. And when I presented that to the company, they said, thanks, but no thanks. But it didn't stop there. They countered my counter. And they said, let's not let money be an obstacle. Name your price. I was trained for this moment. I was trained to pursue power and prestige. I was trained to have an attitude of gratitude in the face of opportunities like that. I was trained to sacrifice and pay the price and do whatever it took to make it work. And I believe that they said what they said to be generous, and probably even more so to be persuasive. But that pause for me, it was an important moment. It helped me to listen and tune in to what my inner voice had been trying to whisper to me for years. And that is, you do not have to continue to live a life like this. For me, it was a breakthrough moment. It was a choice. I said no, because I finally gave myself permission to walk off of a stage I no longer wanted to perform on. You see, this wasn't just about finally tuning in and listening, but it was equally about having the courage to let go of what success once meant to me. So I want to ask you, are you ready to let go? Are you ready to pause? Are you ready to tune in? Are you ready to stop performing and start living out your truth? And whether you are or not, I want to ask you to consider if this version of you is still who you want to be. And if it's not, I want to invite you to allow that inner voice to break through. I want to challenge you to put down the scripts that others have written for you. I want to implore you to pick up your pen, and I want to encourage you to write the next chapter of the life you dream to have. Thank you.